meeting. This is series of events, cities and regions in Focus, and we have organized such events in Focus on Kharkiv, Mykolaiv, Dnipro, Kyiv, and today is about Cherson. The goal of these events is always to give the opportunity, to give the space for to know each other, to introduce each other, and maybe to find a partner to organize a collaboration. For us as a platform for the reconstruction of Ukraine, it's really very important to have partner. And today's event we organized together with Duvia, and they support and promote German and German-Ukrainian partnerships and cooperation. And today's session will be moderated by co-founder and CEO of Duvia GmbH, Yulia Chenusha. Please.
Marta, thank you very much, and thank you very much for the platform Vida about Ukraine, that reconstruction of Ukraine, that we can be a co-partner in this event and to moderate. It's a very important topic for me personally as a German Ukrainian who originally came from Cherson region. I'm from Nova Kakhovka. It's also a deal of soul, so to say, and heart. So I will try to keep my part to very minimum, because my aim is to facilitate, to moderate, and to give you the platform to discuss the very important topic. And as Marta also already mentioned, it's important to build a strong network, but also my aim would be for you to exchange your experience. You are professionals in different fields. Today we have representatives of the different parts of our society, from the representative of the municipalities, state, businesses, NGOs, civil society, and others. So we are open for the very open dialogue. It's a safe space. Please exchange your experience, your challenges, what you're facing, and search for the solution together. In the beginning of our session, as you see up front, we have an agenda. The time is very optimistic, but please take your time for speaking out, to questioning the topics. We will start with a short introduction, which is now ongoing, insights from our speakers, and then further discussion in the common room. After that, we will have a short evaluation of today's session, and further on, we will have a networking breakout session, also with the possibility to exchange your experience and talk on the common problematics and searching for the common solution. Up front, I will ask all our speakers also to use the chat, and all our participants to use the chat actively. If you have any questions during the speaker's presentation, please write down the questions. We will then search for some critical ones and to have the conversation on them as well. But due to the time, maybe we'll continue answering on these questions further on, or our speakers will provide some information after this session. So we want to let everybody to speak out and no question be not answered. For the representatives afterwards, for the discussion and exchange, we have common topics. I will talk about them further. So now the session and floor given to the speakers. I will invite our first guest, and as I called her already, boots on the ground. Alona Movchan is a Ukrainian journalist from Cherson, and she's very active in the field of her NGO and the situation and media in the near frontline territories. So Alona, the floor is yours. Please exchange with us your experience and the status quo. And thank you for being careful. I know that Alona is now also staying in the bunker.
Hello. Thank you for this time. My name is Alona Movchan, and I'm from Cherson. My English is not perfect, but I try to speak as well as I can. I work at the head of the literary and dramaturgical department at the Cherson Theatre, and as a journalist for Suspilne, I write poetry and prose. I lived under occupation in 2022. I am the wife of a firefighter, rescuer, and the mother of a little boy, Dobromir, who was born a month before the full-scale Russia invasion in Ukraine. I want to start my talk, a brief description of the city of Kherson as it is today. Cherson is not just a front-line city separated from the temporarily occupied left bank of the region by just a few kilometers and 5-7 minutes by boat. This is a city that hears explosions around the clock. Each of us already has a kind of auditory dictionary. We have learned to distinguish between incoming fire and outgoing shots. We know the difference between artillery and drones. We automatically know how many seconds we have to drop to the ground if we hear a whistle. This is not normal, but we live in it. Despite constant shelling, power outage, interruptions in communication, and lack of air, our lives have not stopped. Rather, they have relocated underground. Rescuers, volunteers, doctors, municipal workers, and teachers are all still working. People find the strength not only to survive but also to help others. The theatre is open now in Kherson, and performances take place in shelters, which women attending in dresses and heels. Personally, I organize literary and musical events called Poetic Wardrobe, Poetyczna Szafa, which has been running for 10 years. But while we used to meet in cafes, now we gather in shelters. Cafes are reopening, libraries hold events, and young people gather for film screening in shelters. It's especially poignant to see couples and young people strolling together. Yes, our streets are dark, schools are empty, buildings destroyed. At night, the street lights don't work. Windows are shuttered and closer to the Dnipro River. People don't turn on light at all. Our city lives until 4 p.m. And after that, you only see people on the streets in certain neighborhoods. Already in autumn, it is impossible to go to a store at 6 p.m., for example. It is dark and frightening. The curfew in our city starts at 9 p.m. and ends at 6 a.m. During this time, being on the streets is forbidden. We are used to keeping our phones charged, water in bottles, and important documents in a go bag by the door. We know what it means not to have a place to live, but not wanting to leave our city. Because home, it's not walls, it's the land you hold onto even in the scariest moment. I speak with certainly as someone who has not even had her own home. We have not given in. We are not victims. We are citizens of our country who choose every day to stand. Even if we stand in the mud, pulling debris from the yard after the latest shelling, even if we stand in complete darkness, holding each other's hands. We understand that we only have today. We don't dwell on childhood traumas or old grievances, nor do the plan 3 years ahead, or even for tomorrow. We are learning to use the moment and feel life in this second, right now. When leaving home, we check Telegram channels for drone activity. Some people, believe it or not, go to buy potatoes carrying a drone detector. We move along relatively safe streets. We don't listen to music in our headphones so as not to miss the beating of an FPV drones or the exit whistle impact. And we know if it whistles, it is not near us. Our children are afraid to go outside because of the air alarm that rolls around. They wake up at night in terror and run to their parents' bed. Yet, at the same time, they know how to enjoy the moment and warm us with their smiles. Yes, sometimes we think about living. We talk about living in peace. But at the same time, we understand there is not refuge in any Ukrainian city. All of Ukraine suffers because Russia is a ruthless and principal enemy. Their souls pass quickly because if everyone leaves, what will become of our Cherson? Only here do we firmly stand on our feet and feel we are exactly where we need to be now, in this moment, I say about this. I thank everyone who listens today and understand that Front-Line Cherson, it's not just a statistic of shelling. There are living people, there is us. And we hold on as much as possible under those conditions. Regarding Suspilne recently, one of our colleagues was blown up by a petal mine. There are mines disguised and scattered by Russia forces using drones. Any who steps on them detonates. A car driving over one detonates as well. But just imagine, walking through the city, we have to look up because there could be drones, look down because there could be petal mine, and listen carefully because Russian could start shooting from various types of weapons, artillery, tanks, guided bombs, and so on. The air raid alarm in our city only sounds in case of missile danger or threat from Shaheds. It's one of kind of drone. Shelling from artillery or tanks lasts less than a minute from the exit to the impact, and during this time, the alarm does not sound. There is not a warning other than the sound of the outcoming fire. It's a short story about how we live in Cherson. We stay in our home, in our land, and don't want to go to another city because we love our city, we love our land, and we hope that left part of our region will be deoccupied in this year, we hope.
Alona, thank you so much. I see already there's a hand. I will let Oleksii. I don't see the full name, unfortunately. Oleksii, you can comment. Sandakov.
Hello, guten Tag zusammen. I see everyone is speaking English, so I'll support the
Yes,
language. Okay,
this was intention. Yeah.
I'm talking to you currently from Cherson as well. I know Alona very well. Hello, Alona.
Oh.
Thanks for the big report. I would like not to draw such a dark and black picture that I've heard just now, though it's horrible and terrible, of course, but there's life in our city, and there are a lot of initiatives that are currently at the start and developing, and I would like to shed some light on what's happening here. The city of Cherson, maybe you don't know, is divided in two halves by the railway. Everything that is to the south from the railway up to the river is currently under big danger. What's behind the railway to the north is more or less a safe area, and the business, I wouldn't say it's thriving, but it has a chance to develop. we can see cafes, we can see people walking, we can even see girls making photos for Instagram in the street. So I wouldn't I wouldn't see the whole picture so dark. Though for a normal person from Europe, this would be quite engaging at first.
Oleksii, thank you very much. I know also that you have expressed your willingness to share your expertise, and it's very important to hear you directly on the Cherson. But also it would be interesting for your input in the further conversation, if you don't mind, because your experience and your projects are also very needed afterwards. And now we will give the floor also to the further speakers. Thank you very much for coming to the floor as well. For those who added themselves a bit later, I will just put some organizational topic again. If you have any questions, please write them on the chat. If you have any inputs as well, we will try to stick for the line. We now have a speaker session, and then we have the floor for the exchange, and all the experts as well, same as Oleksii, will also have the time to exchange. From my part, I wanted to thank Alona very much for taking her time also to share your expertise. One question from my side, despite all this, and it was very hard not listening without crying actually, because it's drastic. Still, it's drastic, the situation within the war. You as a professional within the media, what, maybe a short answer, how do you see the most challenging areas for you? Maybe what would you expect from the German side to support more of your work, or how can we stand on your side more effectively?
At first, I want to say to Oleksii, thank you. I thought that business work, theater work, and we live in Cherson, but it's not normal life, because we live and Russia every day attacked our city. I think I say it about this. It's very dangerous live in our city, and sometimes that people from another city go to Cherson, they say to me about this, and it's my emotion. I live here, I want to live here, but it's my emotion in this time. And about support, I think that more big support is a stopped war, is the occupied left part of our region, and another territory that are occupied now, because our people want to live with a Ukrainian flag, and understand that they want to come back to Ukraine, to our home.
From the media's perspective, do you find there's enough depiction of what is going on in Cherson around the world? If the media in the world are covering the things you see with your own eyes, can we also make the input there?
Often in Cherson work media from different countries of work. Also, I sometimes work with media. Also, I do video and send you for you, and you can send this video to another people here in this chat. And also, we often speak with different journalists from another country, from another city of Ukraine and another country, and say about situation in Cherson, and they do some video or text about Cherson, and I think it will be good if this video and text will be more big. Yeah.
Alona, thank you very much. If you would kindly share your contact data as well, maybe email, and our participants, and I see now it's 45 of us online, if they will wish to also additionally ask you questions, maybe for media presence, etc., they can contact you directly. I also would like to share a link on the current or recent documentary from a British journalist who lives and works in Ukraine, Kahlow Robertson, about the farmers of Cherson. So please watch this as well. And for my German colleagues, I advise this to make a share on your platforms as well, so people know more about resilience and the state of war in Cherson region. Alona, thank you very much. It was very kind of you, and please keep safe and still stay safe. Here we see also the context from Alona. Thank you. I would like to ask our next speaker to share his perspective on the cooperation between the sister cities, the twin cities Cherson and Bonn. Stefan Wagner, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you, everyone, for giving us the opportunity to also reflect a little bit on our partnership with Cherson. I'm Stefan. I'm the head of international affairs with the city of Bonn, and I'm here together with my colleague Masha Gerwin, who is supporting us in this partnership. Maybe very briefly on the start of our partnership, we began this solidarity partnership with Cherson in January 2023. This was, or in February 2023, honestly, by a decision by the city council, because our mayor at that time was approached by the military governor of Cherson asking for help, and we just heard about from Alona about the situation there. So the mayor wanted to help or provide some little help by the Bonn people to Cherson at the time. So we decided to engage into this partnership, and the city council unanimously then also decided to establish this partnership in 2023 February officially. What did we do? We started with a solidarity, with a donation program first, because we didn't have any contact with Ukraine at that time, not with Cherson, not with any other city. So it was totally new to us. We didn't really know how we could help a city in that particular situation as a front city. So we wanted to donate help and medical products, and we worked together with a donation organization, a help organization based in Bonn, which is called Help. And we will hear from a colleague later in this course of this meeting on what exactly we did. But we tried to raise money for medical help for hospitals, but also for emergency products and items for the citizens of Cherson at the time. And this was also important because we used this partnership with Help to promote and make this new solidarity partnership with Cherson well known to the people in Bonn, because they didn't know about it. So we set up a website. We used city screens to ask for donation, very presently, very visible in our city. In addition, we tried, and this we did in close cooperation with the colleagues, our colleagues in Cherson. We also delivered vehicles by our fire brigade, by our cleaning. We also donated cleaning vehicles and garbage truck from our utility companies. All vehicles that were needed dramatically in Cherson due to the situation, due to the bombings by the Russians. So this is something we really much focused on, and it's an ongoing program. So as soon as we get to know of any vehicle that is usable for Cherson and that is available in Bonn, we try to bring it to Cherson. We also use, of course, public funding, so national funding programs by GIZ and others to do so. But if we talk about donation and help, this is not only the city administration of Bonn, this is mostly maybe the civil society. So we work very closely with society organizations. We have a strong Ukraine migrant community here in Bonn. We have the Blue Yellow Cross associated here in Bonn. So this is the civil society that does a lot in helping and promoting this partnership. They organize charity events, they organize concerts and theater plays, they do demonstrations on to make aware about the situation in Cherson and in the Ukraine as such. We also have school children who packet little presents for children in Cherson. We have church organizations. We have volunteers all around the city that really do a lot. So I have to really underline that this is very much now also a movement by the city society that want to help, that try to help, and the Ukrainian community that tries to link up and makes this Cherson case very visible also to us here in Bonn. We have very good communications with Cherson colleagues despite the situation that we just heard. So we had personal encounters in Bonn. Unfortunately, a meeting in Cherson could not take place so far due to the security situation, but our mayor, our past mayor, I have to say, and our city director, they went to Kiev in November last year to meet with our colleagues, with their friends, the vice mayor of Cherson there, and we hope that at some time also a visit to Cherson will be possible. You were asking for challenges and some lessons learned, maybe some good aspect. The challenges I don't need to stress because we just heard about them. The security situation, the situation of a city that we cannot imagine in Bonn, how this should look like, how people live under these circumstances for years now. So this is something that is always well, we cannot imagine, but we see those people, we see those colleagues in their shelters, but we have contact with them every second week. We maintain good contacts. They are very positive. They are very forward-looking. They are so good in self-help and resilience. So we can really learn a lot from them, I have to say. So we hope that the situation will come about where we can really meet and exchange, not only to donate and help and give technical support and machinery and goods, but also to learn from their experience, to learn from each other. So this is something that we really very much look for in the future. Good things that we learned and good practices definitely, I think, is, well, the donation, as I just mentioned. It is also to make people part of this partnership, really to reach out to the local community. I think this is something that is very important, to make this case visible, to have, and I think there is a strong interest by the citizens here in Bonn. The more they hear, the more they see, the more they get in touch with Cherson, the more awareness there is and the more the support there is. So this is why it is also important to have, for example, cultural events in Bonn. We had a Cherson week last year with a lot of events just to make, Cherson more prominent and more visible to our citizens here as well. So this is what we are doing. This is what we are in the midst of doing at the moment. I know my time is over, so I want to stop here, but I'm happy to exchange and get also more voices from particularly people living in Cherson or next to Cherson, on what they would expect and what help they would need from us. So I stop here and thank you so much, Julia, for the time.
Stefan, thank you so much. You are very sportly and dedicated to the time limits. I have directly also, I see there are no questions written, so I still maybe also activate the possibility to raise hand if you have a very critical question, but writing down the questions will give us the overview and maybe collectively address them to the speaker. So please don't hesitate. Don't think of grammar and any other problems you may occur. So, but Stefan, as we see from day to day, the bound is getting stronger and stronger, and thank you for that as well. The supporting of the twin sistership is very important in Germany, and we have seen the rise of this movement and that the cities supported it is very needed, especially needed for the deoccupied territories, for the territories that are still occupied. Maybe that would be also a very good idea for collaboration, even if it's not yet possible de jure and de facto on the ground, but still as a sign of solidarity, this movement was very important, and you have done a lot for that. Thank you very much. I would still have a question on challenges, which you named, that of course they are very drastic, but in your work, when you are a recipient of questions from Ukraine, or maybe support call to actions from Ukraine, maybe there are some challenges or maybe advice how to approach you, or what is the priority where you will be more open or have more resources to cooperate. We never have enough resources, of course, but if you can let our community now in this video call to understand if there are some projects or some challenges people want to address you, what would that be, or what would be the perfect way to do so?
You mean challenges? You mean address?
In your day-to work,
okay.
Yeah.
The challenge that we see basically with the cooperation with Cherson is, Cherson and people in Ukraine, they think in very short term. They always say, we do not think about the next weeks to come. We think about the next day to survive. So for us in Germany, particularly when we talk about cultural projects, for example, we have a long planning period. So this is a very practical challenge that we have to do short-term things very shortly on short notice. It's just something that we need to get used to, because we need, from our planning processes, this is very different, and we fully understand, the attitude and the awareness in Cherson, but it is something we have to get used to in Germany. Then financing is always an issue. We wanted to have the orchestra of Cherson playing in Bonn. I know some of those, musicians live somewhere else. They do not live in the city anymore. But to bring them here to Bonn is very costly. So we always look for financing, because as a city, as Bonn, I have to say we do only have very limited resources ourselves for the partnership. So financing is an issue, the organization, and then we have to make sure we have to be aware that the capacity of Cherson, the people at the administration, they are very dedicated. They do a lot, but they of course have limited capacities under this particular situation. So this is a little bit a challenge from our point of view that we have. But I think we did make the best out of it. And as I say, we always happy to be addressed by civil society, by cultural groups. I mean, maybe here are people in the call that we are not in contact with yet. So please, happy to share my email contact. So please reach out to us. We are always open for any idea on what we maybe could do, or maybe expand to do so in the future. If we find a solution, we are happy to do so. So please reach out to us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Stefan. Please leave your contacts in the chat as well. And thank you very much for openness. This is exactly what we are aiming for, to understand, so the Ukrainian side would understand also what challenges you are dealing with in your day-to-day work, because everybody has his own and her own perspective. So the Ukrainian part is also speaking openly on the challenges they are dealing with during the wartime. I see the comments and there's already communication in the chat. Yes, of course. There's also the interesting fact, and we are addressing this fact also with our next speaker. We have also regional partnership. The region Schleswig-Holstein has a regional partnership with the Cherson region, but today we stick to the speakers on the city level. Maybe next time we'll also have representatives of the regional partnerships as well. But the representative of city Kiel, who also recently became the partner of Cherson, is present. Robert, I give you the floor. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much for introducing me. My name is Robert Sochacki. Some of you know me already. I work in the office of the president of the city council in Kiel. This is the office which is responsible for the city twinning here. And we maintain 14 cities partnerships worldwide. Cherson is our youngest partner city. The partnership was established on the February 29th, 2024. It started actually already before through the contacts and cooperation between the, as you said, between the state level of Schleswig-Holstein and the Oblast Cherson. So it seemed, so we was of course aware that we will also want to establish in cooperation, and it seemed to be logical and meaningful, of course, to establish a partnership with the city of Cherson. Yes. Maybe briefly some areas of cooperation, of activities which we have with Cherson. Many things, because the city partnership was established 3 days after the partnerships with Bonn. So we are not only at the same time, maybe we have only the almost always the same problems. You can see in the context, in the activity, in the cooperation with Cherson. As it's quite similar to Bonn, you can say. So we try to support the city of Cherson in with technical and material support, of course. So we already delivered some vehicles from our fire brigade too, and ambulances with medical equipment. We also participate in the GIZ program. Last year we delivered some nursing beds, so medical equipment, rehabilitation devices, and also construction vehicles, lifting platform, and various tools. And this year we hope to deliver from the same program of the GAZ, the backhoe loader and hybrid generator, as also as other things. And we also have some donation actions here in Kiel. So they started with the big donation action in within the city administration in the winter 2024. So we had a very big donation action. So when the employees of the city administration in Kiel donated urgently needed supplies, which we sent to Cherson after that. We also have some private person in Kiel who donate money. We received 2 times money donation in 10,000 euros each, which made us possible to buy wheelchairs and medical aid and Christmas sweet and some shoes for children in person. This is this supporting side. We also tried to run project for young people and children from Cherson. On one side, we had we have groups of children in Cherson for recovering in Kiel and in the state of Schleswig-Holstein too. So the actions are funded by the city of Kiel and also in other organizations like the German Television Lottery. And the idea was born during the exchange with the city of Kiel. And from the city side, we also have a education and youth exchange and some cultural programs, like 4 students from Cherson are currently studying in Kiel through a municipal scholarship program for twin cities. Your youth councils from Kiel, Cherson, and Vasa, and this is very interesting, which is also twin city of Kiel and Cherson. So we have a trilateral cooperation. Are running an online exchange program and will gather in person in Vasa this year. In March 2024-5, we also had a cultural event in Kiel. We had an exhibition, A Price of Life, of a photographer from Cherson. At this place, you can also see the cooperation maybe between our 3 cities, Cherson, Kiel, and Bonn, because the exhibition went to Bonn after that. So that's the maybe example for our intensive cooperation between us 3. We use to have online meetings once a month with 3, so Cherson, Bonn, and Kiel. And yeah, that's maybe about our activities briefly. The challenges are, of course, almost all the same as in Bonn. As a responsible person here, I have to admit that we had to learn many things about how to help, how to organize transport, how to deal with questions as customs, and so on and so on. And in the first time, in the beginning, we tried to do everything by ourselves. But now I think that we discovered the help of which many organization, voluntary organization, and I think it's a very, very valuable element that they have this experience, that they have this expertise, and they can help us. And that's what we do at this time, that we try to cooperate with them to get our goods, to get our help to Cherson, for example. And actually, the feeling is like that you have solved one problem, and on the horizon you already have the next. And as at the moment we are trying to transfer some money to Cherson, and that's a very new question, so it's not possible, it seems. So we have to look for other possibilities and ways to realize this idea. That's maybe for me briefly about our cooperation activities with Cherson. Thank you very much.
Robert, thank you very much. So many inputs. I have also made some notes because from each conversation I learn, and from each input I learn something new. And it's very important to understand what everybody is doing and how they are dealing with the challenges. You have, I see, yet no questions. Maybe people are still a bit shy, but I will take some seconds for my question in this field. You have mentioned a very good initiative for rehabilitation of children, as I understood, yeah? And I know that in Ukraine, many NGOs, I don't know, we have those who also are covering such topics, but maybe everybody knows somebody, yeah? And rehabilitation of children is a very high profile topic that has to be covered as well. How Ukrainian organizations can everybody contact and use this program, or what is the way? Maybe you leave some information on that as well, along with your contacts. Maybe some words on that.
Yeah, I don't if I understand it right. So there is no medical rehabilitation yet. It was just spending a summertime in Kiel. So yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Maybe it was the wrong word. I'm sorry, but we have also a very active civil society here, and we also have city funding for the partnerships, for the partner cities, for projects with partner cities, and it was one of the projects that the Ukrainian German society ran. They just invited a group of children from Cherson, and they spent 2 weeks here in Kiel. On the other side, I talked about a big action, big project with 260 children from Cherson and the region, Cherson region, which was driven by the German TV lottery, Deutsche Fernsehlotterie, but we participate in this not financially, but just through the idea and through the discussions.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I think for those who be more interested in details, or to have the same project, or maybe continue in such a idea and initiative, they will contact you. So thank you for leaving also your contacts up front. And I see the hand, Dr. Hans-Arno Petzold. Petition. You are muted.
Yes, thank you. Very good meeting here. Just want to add to the colleague Robert Hai that we also had a program, and probably will do it again this year, for the children of especially police officers who were killed or wounded during the killed or wounded on duty on the front line. So our Ministry of the Interior and the Schleswig-Holstein Police, they had this program running with contacts via the oblast government and the military governor of Cherson, who, by the way, will visit Schleswig-Holstein in February. So there are also opportunities on this level. This is obviously not for everybody, but we try to help especially those who suffer from their parents being killed or wounded on duty. Thank you.
A very sensitive topic, but very important input. Dr. Petzold, would you like also to share some information on this project? If there's any link or maybe your contact, I think that would be also appreciated if you're open to that, to questions, to...
I could make contacts to the persons in our Ministry of the Interior. My email is in the chat.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you for your input. And I see Alona is asking for the floor, please.
I now verified the information. Thank you, Robert. I know then in April Some people from Young Council, Cherson, will go to Vaasa. It's a contact Kiel, Vaasa, and Cherson Young Council. It's very good opportunity for them.
Yes, that's right. You're right. So they're planning the encounter. The meetings now are all online, but there should be an encounter in person in Vaasa in the end of April.
Great. Robert, Alona, thank you very much. I will following our plan. I will give the word to the civil society representative, to Liliia Domnicheva from Help FV. Liliia, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm Liliia Domnicheva from Help Hilfe zur Selbsthilfe. I'm External Relations and Coordination Officer in Kiev. Cherson is a region where war is a part of everyday life. It's continuous shelling, severe infrastructure damage, which were mentioned, and the long-term consequences of the destruction of Kakhovka Dam have placed enormous pressure on essential services, particularly healthcare. Today, only around 70,000 people remain in city, compared to more than 300,000 before the full-scale invasion. Despite this, hospitals continue to operate, often under constant threat. Within the solidarity partnership between the city of Bonn and the city of Cherson, Help Hilfe zur Selbsthilfe has been supporting healthcare and essential services in the region since 2023 through the project Bonn Hilft Cherson. Over the past 3 years, Help has supported 6 medical facilities in the Cherson region with essential medical equipment and supplies, contributing to improved access to healthcare under extremely difficult conditions. Our support is built around direct cooperation with medical facilities. Everything begins with the request from hospitals when they face critical gap. It's shortages of medicines, outdated diagnostic equipment, or technical limitations that directly affect patients. Once a request is received, our team conducts a needs assessment, review and technical specifications, feasibility, and the security situation. Work in close coordination with the Agency for Regional Development, local authorities, and hospital management. Continuous security monitoring is essential, as medical facilities themselves are frequently exposed to shelling. Every delivery is planned based on up-to-date risk assessment, route planning, and contingency measures. This approach allows us to provide targeted needs-based support while operating in highly insecure environment. Over the past 3 years, our support has focused on strengthening diagnostic treatment and emergency response capacity. Medical equipment delivered within the project includes ultrasound system, endoscopic equipment such as bronchoscopes, gastroscopes, blood bank, as well as essential medicines and consumables for endovascular surgery. Altogether, this support has benefited at least 23,000 patients across Cherson region. One of the facilities we support is Cherson City Clinical Hospital, named after Karabelish, a major referral hospital in the region. Here we delivered essential medicines, including cardiovascular drugs, pain relief medication, and hepatoprotectors, which were immediately distributed across inpatient departments. This support is particularly critical for elderly patients who depend on uninterrupted access to medication. Another key facility is Cherson City Clinical Hospital, named after Tropin. There we delivered an expert-class ultrasound machine to replace an outdated equipment that had significantly limited diagnostic capacity. The new system allows doctors to detect internal injuries and complications that were previously difficult to identify, particularly in trauma cases and complications related to shelling. As an ultrasound specialist from the hospital described, thanks to the new equipment, we detected liver damage in time, and the surgeons were able to save the patient's life. The hospital also received the video gastroscope, further strengthening its diagnostic work. A particularly important case is the Cherson regional children's hospital. It's the only specialized pediatric hospital in the entire oblast. It provides care for children from birth to 18 years old, including children from recently deoccupied communities. Despite constant danger and even after recent shelling that damaged the hospital building, the medical team continues admitting children and providing care every day. Within the Bonn Cherson project, the hospital received advanced endoscopic equipment, including a bronchoscope and a gastroscope. This equipment enables complex diagnostic and life-saving procedures for children in critical conditions. Alongside direct healthcare support, our assistance also address the broader conditions that allow hospitals and essential services to function. We supported the Cherson Perinatal Center with a high-capacity oxygen concentrator, enabling safer anesthesia during surgeries and especially childbirth. In addition, under other components of our assistance, we provided fuel support across the wider Cherson region to keep essential services ongoing. This included fuel for water supply for people, for generators, points of invincibility, and outpatient clinic. Without electricity, heating, and water, healthcare facilities cannot operate, and this complementary support remains critical. Looking forward to 2026, our priorities within German-Ukrainian cooperation are to maintain continuity of essential services, strengthen long-term institutional partnerships, and continue working through local systems. Our experience shows that this approach works when assistance is flexible, needs-based, and grounded in trust. At the same time, we continue to face serious challenges. The most significant remains the security situation, which affects logistics, planning, and access to territories. Infrastructure fragility is also worsened by repeated attacks, further complicates the work. Despite these constraints, our experience clearly shows that cooperation rooted in local partnerships makes a real difference. When support responds to actual needs and is sustained over time, hospitals are able to continue providing care even in highly insecure environments. Thus, medical teams in Cherson demonstrate extraordinary resilience every day. Our responsibility is to stand alongside them and to ensure that they have the support they need to continue this important work. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Liliia. Thank you very much also for your work. We know how civil society and how the NGOs are struggling during these years, but also within the resources are doing everything impossible possible, what I call that. And I wanted to ask you also to concretize, is there already a network that you're using within the Cherson, so the people are from medical sphere are contacting you, or how the new or are there also organizations that have not been reaching you? Maybe are you open for cooperations? How they can address their requests to you and in which topics? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for the questions. Regarding this cooperation, we receive requests directly from the hospitals, and mostly it's direct communication between the hospitals and HELP. We are open to cooperation with other local organizations because it's help expanding the wider cooperation in the region. We know that many organizations local are working on the field in Cherson, but everything is always related to constraints in security situation. So it's very important to plan in advance the routes. So that's why it's important to have this cooperation, and the organizations are openly can contact us in any questions related to Cherson or other regions.
And a final question, because I've worked for the nonprofit segment as well. Due to that, your organization is not only having the scope within a scope the Ukrainian question, yeah. So how is your department is the department work divided, or your whole organization is prioritizing the crises when they, for example, appear and where you have to be on the first line, so to say? Can you elaborate on that in a short answer?
Yes, of course. It's a prioritization in program department when we see there is a great need in some some procurement of some medicines or delivery of some special equipment, or there is like a great need for generators of fuel, we prioritize these regions and try to do this activity as soon as possible to help the people. So everything is, it's difficult to predict what will be the next or in advance, because we do not know where the shelling will come or which regions it will affect. Thus, it's a great and complex work of program department and trying to do as much as possible for the needs.
Thank you very much, Liliia. Thank you for your input and time taken to participate in this fruitful conversation. Our last speaker, and I will now reach to the comments that we had. Masha Garin wrote an additional information which was very useful as well, that the local network operator Bonn Nets, the representative today couldn't participate, but we have a partner organization in the project from the GIZ, and the terms of operator, the partnership with Cherson Vodokanal, and it was funded from the federal funds, that's on the topic of fundings for the people who are in the topic also, to understand the processes or organizations. And there was a possibility for them to support Cherson with much needed equipment to restore water supply in Cherson, and they are constantly in exchange. On this point and note, I will give the Anastasiia, our last speaker on the list, before we follow our conversation in the room with all the participants. Anastasiia, the floor is yours. Thank you for your contribution.
Thank you so much. Thank you also, Masha, for already introducing the partnership shortly. I will just add maybe some sentences because we are running out of time. I represent the project utility platform, which is a project of GIZ and is financed by BMZ. And the concrete partnership, operator partnership between Bonn Nets and Cherson Vodokanal, and this area also of cooperation should not be underestimated, because it's about providing extremely important public services for the population of Cherson city. And maybe just a little bit of background about the project. Our project is a global project, and we support those partnerships between municipal companies in Germany and partner countries around the world. In Ukraine, and the focus of these partnerships is basically capacity development and technical cooperation. But of course, in Ukraine, because of the ongoing Russian aggression, the focus is a little bit different, and mainly it's about procurement of very much needed technical equipment, with, of course, when it's possible, some professional exchange, experience exchange between technicians, engineers of these specific water utilities. I also have to mention that in our project, we not only cooperate in water sector, but also solid waste sector. And in Ukraine, we have 16 partnerships right now. And the specific partnership between Bonn Nets and Cherson Vodokanal was established in November 2023. And I remember that back then, but also till today, the situation in the city is it remains extremely difficult to imagine following the occupation and then damages with flooding and explosion of Kahlow Dam, right? And still, the employees of Cherson Vodokanal, when they were presenting their company to Bonn Nets colleagues, it was it's just to admire how, under which conditions they do their work, and just in order to secure this water supplies to their citizens. And I'm happy that Bonn Nets is so they are so willing to help, even though they cannot travel to Ukraine. It's forbidden for them. They still they organize online meetings, regular online meetings, where they just not only, of course, talk about technical problems and all this dark stuff, but of course they just support emotionally each other. And I also admire the director of Cherson Vodokanal, which is always smiling and sharing all the nice stuff that is going on also in Cherson city and the company, because they have still 600 workers that are remaining there, and they are like doing their work under constant shelling. So it's really to admire this cooperation. And as was already written, like the partnership, like Bonn Netz procured a lot of technical equipment for Cherson Vodokanal. Recently, very important power system were procured in order to supply water to like high buildings for residents in like very top levels, and there are a lot of other equipment planned to procure in the next years, because like this partnership will run till mid of 2028, and partners, they are jointly all the time coordinating which priorities they do have for the cooperation. And in case it will be possible soon, maybe colleagues from Bonn Netz also will travel to Cherson Vodokanal, because like the main aim of the project, as I said, is technical cooperation, is capacity development, and you can only do that and you can travel, of course, both sides and see what is the situation also in Cherson there. But we'll see, this is like long-term aim, and right now, of course, they have to stick to reality and have like these short-term plans. Yeah, this is just like in very short.
Thank you very much, Anastasiia, for keeping it short as well. I know that we are also overdue, but we are going on with the dialogue. It's very important. One question from me: due to this winter that it's now ongoing, and that was already even predicted before, but now we in real life we can see that this is the most harsh winter in Ukraine that people in these 4 years have had to deal with. On this, taking this into consideration, have you within this project or your procurement, have they, I'm sorry for the sound, very active in Kahlow, have the colleagues seen the difference in the requests due to these conditions?
Of course, I mean, like the list of needs that Cherson Vodokanal is always having prepared on the table is extremely long. And as for the canal, of course, as like water utility, they are dependent on energy, right? They cannot work without energy supply as well. And of course, such generators and transformators are on their list, but as they inform us, they can get this kind of support from other projects or from other initiatives that are also coming not only from Germany, from Netherlands or other countries. But of course, Bonn Netz is not only procuring the stuff like water pumps or, as I said, this other panels for residential buildings. They also donate a lot as a company. They donated a lot of generators, water pumps as well, IT needed goods and so forth and so on and so forth. And we do also have in the framework of our project or under umbrella of our project donation campaign where we try to collect needs by all Ukrainian water utilities, and we then try to find this kind of donations under all German utilities. So we try to support in also this way, and like this year, of course, energy goods for water utilities are like highly requested, and Cherson Vodokanal received also under this donation campaign a lot of energy goods from us as well, or from German utilities, and not only from Bonn Netz.
Thank you very much, Anastasiia. Thank you for keeping us informed, also for your work and for the resources that are given there. For all our speakers who are working in this field, we do know, and from Germany and from Ukraine perspective, that this usually this kind of work on supporting the partnerships and cooperation that needs extra resources, usually also the volunteer resources from both sides. And I think both sides understand the challenges in this regard and are very, very thankful to each other. From my perspective, thank you for all your work, for your inputs today. Now I would like to let our participants also to take the floor. We will now be freely in combining the topics. We have registration for different topics. As I said, we have identified such directions as defense, human rights, cooperation, recovery, and energy. And within the recovery, there were a lot of input from different organizations, from different parts of society also, as there are less participants within the call as registrations. I would just give the floor. You can raise your hand. I already see one, and I will give you the microphone. And please exchange your experience either on what you've already heard, maybe your input from your perspective. We eager to understand what are the critical situations now when we can all collaboratively support in finding the solutions, but also we eager to listen on your projects that are very relevant for the Cherson and Ukrainian-German cooperation. I see the hand of Sergiy Govorovskyy.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Welcome.
I would love to, Julia, if you allow me, I would love to share 3 slides with you regarding our organization, because we have been on the ground since the beginning of the war in Cherson in particularly, and our funding director spends about 70% of his time in Ukraine, in Cherson. It will be very quick.
Sure.
Yeah, I think, can you see the presentation? I think so. Perfect. So let me introduce ourselves. So we are called Be an Angel. We are an NGO based in Berlin, acting globally. Our mission is empowering refugees, and that we have been doing successfully for about 10 years here in Germany. We have successful examples of sustainable and economic integration of refugees here in Germany. And since the full-scale invasion, we have been on the ground in Ukraine. That is some of our impact that we have achieved. We have evacuated about almost 25,000 people from the frontline regions, which was about 277 buses. We have delivered tens of tons of humanitarian aid worth about 63 million euros. And we had about 1.3 million people reached in the crisis regions. Sorry. Yes, our work in Cherson. So almost from the first days, we have been on the ground. We have 4 pillars that support our work there. Long-term presence and operations. We work ourselves, our team in Cherson works under high-risk conditions. On the ground oversight. On the photo, you can see Andreas Tölke, who's also in this call, who travels very often to Cherson to oversee our humanitarian missions. As well as Alexandra Pavlenko, who is the director of our office in Ukraine. Cooperation with authorities, we have a memorandum signed with the military administration, and all of our activities are carefully coordinated and approved and operationally secured with them. One of our major strengths is, of course, lies in the hands of our local partners and the network. We have an extensive network, but I would like to highlight one case in particular. It's a local NGO called Strong Because Free, Senibovini. They have a large number of activities they do. They evacuate elderly. They have a so-called social taxis where basically they provide, they bring people to their appointments, hospitals, whatever they might need, as well as other humanitarian missions. We highly focus, especially since about 2 years, on the concept of localization. That is empowering local Ukrainian NGOs which know exactly what to do. Some of our key program areas, as you have mentioned yourself, energy and heating currently is the priority. Back in 2022, we have organized a coalition of 42 NGOs and procured and led a procurement of about a fundraising campaign where we managed to raise money for 1,715 generators, the worth of which you can see on the slide, a lot of which have also been delivered to Cherson. Our latest project, which took about 2 weeks ago, as you can see also in the photos, we have delivered generators and heaters to shelters, clinics, and civilian facilities. The demand is unfortunately still there. There's still about 300 civilian shelters which are in need of these. We are also currently in negotiations with Ukrainian petrol stations in order to provide vouchers and ensure that those people who have generators have also the fuel to use them.
Sergiy, thank you very much. I unfortunately have to make a pause here. Would you please provide this presentation to the organizators so we can share all this information to all the participants in the call, because we have also much more input. And if you, and I already written this within the chat, if any of you have any two-pager presentation, input, links, everything that is connected to the cooperation between Ukraine and Germany, especially Cherson region and city partnerships, NGOs cooperations, and humanitarian aid, please be free to send us all this information. We will be the transporter of this into the public. Sergiy, thank you very much. I personally also know the initiative and appreciate all of your work, guys. So the numbers are just impressive, and I suppose that the needs are still have to be covered. And maybe can you name one main challenge that you as an organization is facing now?
It's very hard. I think the lack of funding is obviously one which all of the NGOs are struggling.
May I?
Yes.
May I? You know, the biggest challenge, as we see here, is how to synchronize activities. We have here like so many different groups who do a fabulous job. It's really amazing. We're just listening to them and see what their activities are. But there's not really a platform where these activities are synchronized. We are working on an IT platform that will be hopefully launched in the Oblast Cherson pretty soon for registration of NGOs that are approved. These NGOs can have a reporting system through that, and we have a case management through that. So you have like these different fields of activities like medical care, evacuation program, food program, catch program, whatsoever. Here we go about the campaign. So I think this is like a lack of what I felt like being in Ukraine since 4 years almost on a regular basis most of my time, especially the smaller and the mid-sized NGOs at the front lines as Cherson don't have a really good platform, and they can't do it. You know, they have a 16-hour working day. We can't expect them to do a proper reporting. We can't expect them to do a fundraising. We can't expect them to call for action. This should be the duty and the job of the NGOs outside or of the organizations outside of Ukraine. And if we don't have the material for it, then we don't know what these NGOs are doing, we can't do a fundraiser and we can't communicate. So we have this IT platform. I'm happy to share that afterwards. It's almost ready to go. We have one more bug to fight with, and then we will initiate that in Cherson. And all Cherson activities and all NGOs participating here, we really invite you to have a look at it and to give your best practice back to us. So that's, from my understanding, the biggest challenge.
Andreas, thank you very much for naming this as well. From the NGO perspective, I know also the huge challenge with this regard. I think it's also a pro and contra within the decentralized acting within the war. But after 4 years, of course, there's a necessity to more consolidation, for more resource used separately, not double work, making double work. As soon as you have this new portal or solution, please share this as well with the platform, because they will then use their contacts to spread it and aim in the Cherson region as well. Thank you for your input, guys. I will then call for Sergiy Sandakov, because he was already listed as an expert as well. Sergiy, I hope you are still there.
Hi, my name is Oleksii.
Oh, sorry, so, Oleksii, sorry. Please, the floor is yours. I think you would be, it would be very fruitful to know your perspective because you've mentioned the troubles with the investment sector, but also please share your projects and your work with the community.
As I said, again, Oleksii Sandakov, my name. I studied in Germany, Bielefeld, so it's a shame I can't speak German with you. I think it would be a much better reflection of what we have here. I currently represent the Luther Rechtsanwaltsgesellschaft mit begrenzter Haftung from Germany. I'm a country manager for them in Ukraine. And I travel between Cherson and Kiev for the most part of my life. Currently in Cherson, as the situation with the electricity and heating much better here than in Kiev. Kiev has suffered a lot for the last 2 weeks. Beside my tax and legal career, also involved in video production. My first documentary came out in 2023. It's a short chronicle, self-funded, about what Cherson experienced for the first years of the war. The email I applied with for this panel is about the financial sanctions, namely the decision of the European Union GASP 2022-266 from February 23, 2022. Following this decision, the occupied regions of Ukraine, Donetsk, Luhansk, were put under financial sanctions by the European Union, so it is not possible to transfer from or to these regions. And later on in same year, the Cherson region and Zaporizhia was also included into the decision. So the consequences of this are that we cannot transfer money to Cherson, despite the city is already liberated. Anyone opening his e-banking in Cherson will get it blocked immediately. It happened to many journalists here and also to me. I think it's a mistake. It should be fixed, so that Cherson can step into real partnerships with European cities and European businesses. I think on the level of the cities, we could jointly produce a letter addressing it to the European Union and to respective German authorities. As Robert already told, he already had difficulties with transferring funds to Cherson, and I think we could do something in that regard. Thank you for doing this panel. Thank you for sharing the context for the presentations of yours. I think we'll contact the authorities directly, and maybe we can shift the situation.
Thank you very much for naming this problem. I don't think that every participant was aware of that. And as Robert actually named his trouble with this fear, it will be very interesting for some kind of collaboration. And my question actually was if you already know any means we can use, and you have named that. So thank you very much. I would ask you also to maybe share your contact